Today, join me in making my traditional apricot brandy. This is part 2 to a video that I did a couple of months ago. Today, I'm just going to be cleaning all the sediments out of the brandy, pouring it into the jars and bottles, and showing you how I store it. I hope that you'll come along and see how to do this, and if you enjoy it, maybe you can give it a try too. Well, I managed to get the lid off, and I wish you could smell this. It smells amazing. So I'm gonna just empty out the apricots with the pits and the peelings, and then I'll show you what I do next. So all I've got here is a bowl and a strainer, and I am going to try to just take out some of the liquid. I'm going to go slow because I don't want it to splatter. Too much. It is splattering a little. Boy, that smells so good. It's amazing. So what I'm going to do is take this fruit, and I'm actually going to put this here in the bucket so that we don't lose any of the juice. This is my apricot brandy. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and pour it back into the bucket. It smells amazing. Just gonna wash my hands another time. It just has that wonderful apricot brandy smell that is so delicious. I mean, I think you can make apricot brandy using a lot of different things, or brandy anyway, flavored brandy, but I think the best thing that you can do is apricots. You can make it with plums, you can make it with peaches, you can make it with all different kinds of things. So we're going to strain it a couple of times to make sure that all of the fruit, as much of it from the first couple passes is done. Then I'm going to show you how we strain out the real tiny pieces. So now the next thing I want to show you is how I strain out the really tiny pieces that go into the brandy, because there's all kinds of sediment, even though you take the fruit and the pits out, all of that. So I just buy these flour sack towels over at the Dollar Tree. I start off with doing it. I like it better than cheesecloth because it's a little bit closer weave than the cheesecloth. It does a really great job. So all I'm gonna do is just strain the brandy through the flour sack. Now this is going to take a little bit longer than if you did it through cheesecloth, and you can see some of that sediment that's in the bowl or in the bucket. And we just want to get as much of that out as possible. It's not going to hurt anybody, but it definitely affects the quality of the drink. So right now, I just want to see if this is touching the bottom. It is. So I need to get this elevated a little bit. Actually, I think I could do this right in the bucket. I think that might even be better than this bowl. So I am going to move this over. Actually, let me move the bucket over, and then you can see a little bit better. This is the brandy bucket. And all I'm going to do is get some of these big pieces of sediment out. I am going to move my basket. I think I'll hold it up first because you're going to run this through a couple of times. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw this up. I'm trying to get as much of this. I don't really want to dribble it any more than I have to. Perfect. All right. So all we're going to do is put the cheesecloth and the strainer over this, and we just want our apricot brandy to go down into this basket. So I am going to pour all this in. And as you can hear, it's going right through to the bottom of the basket. And as you can see, it's starting to leave like a little bit of sediment on the side of the flour towel. And this just does a great job. So it's going to take a few minutes. We'll come back and I'm going to do this a couple of times, and then I'm going to show you how I store it. Now, one of the other things that I like to do while I'm waiting for my apricot brandy to get strained is that I put all of my leftover apricots on a cookie sheet. And you can see I did that. And those I'm going to put in the freezer, and then I'm going to put in a bag. Those are known as drunken apricots. And I like to use these at Christmas to make pound cake, to make all kinds of liquor flavored desserts. You can see some of the apricots are a little darker than the others. They're perfectly fine to use in cooking and to eat. The reason that some of them are darker and some of them are lighter is that the lighter ones were not quite as ripe and the darker ones were very ripe. So as you can see, we're just waiting to finish up. There's quite a bit of sediment that's being caught in the flour sack towel. So I'm going to go put these in the freezer, and then we'll finish up in the next couple minutes. So this is the second straining. All I did was take the flour sack towel and I rinsed it off with hot water. I just wrung it out really good so there was no more water. And as you can see, this one's going through really, really, really fast. So the whole goal in this, like I said, is just to get off as much of the sediment as possible so that when you have a glass of brandy, you're not drinking a bunch of the sediment. It's not going to hurt anything, but it's something we definitely try to make as clear as possible. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and jar it up. I store it in the refrigerator, and then I will show you, usually after about 2 weeks to a month, I'll go ahead and strain it again after it's been sitting with nobody touching it in the refrigerator. And I'll show you what it looks like once I put it in the bottles. So all I'm going to do now is just ladle it, pour it into the bottles, and get it ready to refrigerate. And the whole goal is to have this luscious drink for Christmas, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Typically, my sons really love it. It is just kind of a delicacy at our house. I used the vodka bottle that the vodka originally came in. I just cleaned it out after I originally made my recipe for the apricot brandy. And I just have had this kind of put away until I was ready to refrigerate it. So as you can see, there's more brandy than the vodka started with. So there's a little plastic piece on my vodka bottle. I just took it off with a little pair of pliers. all I'm gonna do is set this aside because I want to clean the bottle. And I do have another little decorative bottle. I think I got this at the Dollar Tree. And so I will finish putting the rest of this in here, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So as you can see, this is the brandy that I ended up with. I have the one bottle from the Dollar Tree, and I have the one bottle that I bought at the local store. It's just your inexpensive vodka. I'm gonna keep these in the refrigerator so they're nice and cold. In about 2 weeks, maybe 3, I'm gonna strain it again a couple of times, and I'll probably do that every couple of months until Christmas. This is August, so maybe 2 or 3 times more. As you can see, it's pretty clear. This brandy is pretty clear, but even then, some of this sediment will go to the bottom. So we will take care of that in a couple months. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a very easy process. If you have leftover fruit from your garden, you could do it with cherries or apricots, peaches, figs, really anything you want. Like I said, I'm keeping the drunken apricots for Christmas. I'm gonna bake it into some really yummy things, and it should be a great holiday. So Merry Christmas early. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.